This is a recorded class. The focus is going to be on twists, and as you likely know, to get the best effect from a twist, first of all, it comes in 3 stages. First of all, you need to ground very firmly, so whether you're seated, you're standing, or you're lying supine, you need to ground very firmly, then you need to lift, and finally you twist. So in order to prepare for some of these twists, we'll be doing some chest opening, some stretching, lengthening the spine. Okay, so the props you'll need, I've got some blankets, a bolster. If you have a bolster, that's great. If not, just a series of blankets, a strap, and 2 bricks. I've also got my back against a wall, which you might find helpful if you can use a wall behind you. If not, if you can use a wall for your heel, at least in some of the poses, that will work too, and I can demonstrate that. All right, let's begin. We're going to take a bolster and extend forward in Adho Mukha Virasana, forward extended child's pose, to get some length through the front chest and the back chest. So bring the bolster in between the knees, walk yourself forward, lengthen through the spine. So rather than just releasing onto the bolster where you land, walk the hands forward, get length, and at the same time rest the sacrum down on the heels. So sitting bones on the heels, sacrum rolling down towards the mat, walk the arms forward, and then release the forehead down or turn the head to one side and then the other. Once your arms are sufficiently extended so that there is a deliberate extension and not just a relaxed sense through the arms, then you can stretch the palms and eventually release the elbows. So continue on with that pose for a few more breaths. Once you have lengthened through the spine and lengthened through the front chest, the anterior spine, you want to begin lengthening the breath. So long, slow inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. And this first pose is all about centering the brain after you have settled into your practice. Once you've turned the head to both sides, or if you had your head rested on the forehead, you're going to now walk the hands back towards the knees, sit up tall, bring the arms into Parvatasana in front of you, lengthen the arms so that the palms are outstretched in front of you, and lift up. So take this easy, take it gradually. It's your first extension of the class. And release down, change the grip, and lift up one more time. Open the armpits, stretch the palms towards the ceiling, taking care that the front ribs are not puffing out. Release down, and then place the hands beside the mat and come up into Uttanasana. So feet wide apart, as wide as your mat. Hold on to your elbows, so thumbs in the elbow creases, and release the head down. Completely release the head down, release the front body forward. So now we're not only stretching the back of the legs by lifting up the knees, but we're lengthening the whole side of the chest in the same way as we just did. This time gravity is our friend. As we release forward, and the weight of the body is going to lengthen through the side ribs all the way down to the shoulders. And then place the hands on the floor on your right, walk around
with your fingertips towards the right. So now you've got length in the left side of the body. Keep the feet stable. And then walk around to the left side of the body, releasing the head down still, lengthening through the right side of the body. Go as far as you can with your right hand. And then walk back to the center. Clasp the hands behind you. Bring them up and over towards the bolster. Think of going beyond the head. Keep reaching away and down, away and down. And then slowly come back. Place the hands down further forward, walk the hands back, and take a few breaths in downward facing dog. Release the toes, lengthen the toes. Release the hands, the palms, lengthen the fingers. Rest the head on the bolster if that works for your proportions. Suck in the navel towards the back waist. Be strong in the legs. Lengthen the inner leg down towards the inner heel. Lift up the outer leg from the outer ankle towards the outer side of the hips. Keep the weight on the legs, keep the arms light. And then walk forward. Catch the back of the ankles. Release the arms out to the side so the head is coming down towards the shins. And then take a breath in, stretch up. And release down into Tadasana. So we're going to do some standing twists. Next, move your bolster to the side. Take your bricks, one to each side, and bring your mat towards the wall. If you can do that. So that we'll have our back to the wall for these poses. But I'll demonstrate what happens if you don't have a wall for the whole length of the body, but just for your foot. So beginning in Tadasana, with your back quite close to the wall. Remember, the twist is grounding, lifting, twisting. So let's practice that. Have the feet slightly apart. So we're grounding, we're lengthening the toes. We're evening out the distribution of the weight between the soles of the feet at the front and the back. So heels and the balls of the feet, evenly spaced. And now we're lifting up. So lift the chest, roll the shoulders down. And then take a breath in, stretch the arms up. So now we're lifting, and then we're ready for the turn. So turning slowly to your right. Keep the legs stable, the hips stable. You're turning the upper chest only. And don't move the head further than the arms can turn. So just turn the arms, turn the shoulders. And then back to the center. Take a breath. And then to your left. Turning the upper body. Turning the upper body. Keep the arms back towards the ears. Keep turning the upper body. Back to the center. Release down. We'll begin with Trikonasana. Take feet into a wide stride. Stretch out the arms. Turn to your right. And we're going to do straight Trikonasana, classic Trikonasana. So put the left hand on the hip, reach for your right, and take the brick on the high side or halfway down, and then begin to open the chest. So here we're extending the front body, extending the back body, rolling the barrel of the rib cage back towards the wall. And if you choose, or when you're ready, you can bring the arm up. Just as good to keep it on the hip, but bringing the arm up, you stretch even more. So we're opening the chest, ready for the twist, which is coming next. So holding the pose by being firm in the legs, soft toes, lengthening the toes, no tension, lifting the kneecaps, rolling the left thigh back, the right thigh out, and then take a breath in, come up, toes forward, and then center for a moment. Turning to the left, right hand on the hip, reach towards the side wall. Bring your hand down to the brick, upper end or midway, and then begin to open the chest. And you can actually lean on the wall. Sometimes that's extra helpful because you get to see where vertical is. So as you rotate the rib cage, the thighs, everything rolls back towards the wall, and then you stretch the arm up. Sometimes the wall can seem a long way away when our idea of vertical is not quite so true to form. So stretch up, lift the kneecaps, roll the right thigh back, the left thigh towards the wall. And then inhale, press down the feet, come up, toes forward, and heel and toe to come in. Take a breath. Standing twists. So the next pose is going to be Parivrtta Trikonasana, which is a twisting pose. So it's Trikonasana, but the upper part of the body is going to twist around the other way. So we're going to take a wide stride, turning to the right again, but this time the whole body turns to the right. Can you see the difference? My hips are now facing the right. The back foot can turn in, or you can even keep it up on the ball of the foot. Now this time the right hand is on the hip, it's not active at this point. With the left arm we're going to stretch up, reach forward, and then bring it down to the brick. So you can have it on the high end or mid-length, and you're going to be mid-calf with this. So press the brick down, press the hand into the brick, mid-calf. Now begin to turn the chest towards the wall, and you can use that hand, the right hand, to get more turn. More turn. And when you're ready, raise the arm up, walk it up the wall. Plant the heels firmly, back leg firmly planted. Breathe. And then to come back, look down, bring that left arm, right arm down, come up, toes forward, and bring the feet together. Take a breath. And then stretch the legs out one more time. This time we're turning to the left. Stretch the arms out. And then as you turn to the left, left hand on the hip, right arm stretches up. So turn the hips as much as you possibly can, back foot turned in, toes turned in, heels turned out. Lift up with the right arm and then exhale forward. Bring it down to the opposite side, onto the brick. Now take a moment to begin to turn. So revolve the whole of the rib cage towards the wall and then look up. Bring the arm up and turn and turn and turn. Plant the back foot firmly. And then to come down. Look down, bring down the left arm, stretch out the right arm, and then step in. Tadasana. Take a moment with the feet apart in Tadasana, and you can even close the eyes for a moment or two as you center. Alright, open the eyes and get ready for Utthita Parshvakonasana. We're going to do it classic pose, and then we'll do the reverse, the Parivrita version. So step into a wide stride. Again, your back is close to the wall but not touching. I'm about 4 inches away. Stretch the arms out. Turn the feet to the right. Bring the front knee down to form a square and put the left hand on the hip. With the right arm, you're going to reach and reach and reach as if you are drowning and you're catching hold of something. Really, it's going to save you. So stretch and stretch, and then press the hand when you've gone as far as you can. Lie the body over that extended thigh. Press the hand into the brick. It can be the upper brick or the half brick, and then roll the chest back towards the wall. So you're bringing the lower rib cage towards the upper rib cage, and then eventually stretch the arm up, and if you can, you bring it up and over the ear, lengthening right through to the fingertips. Keep the arm by the ear, keep the armpit extending, the back foot pressing down into the mat to anchor your pose. And then take a breath in, come up, toes forward, step in. Take a breath. Then wide stride, second side. Turning to your left. Remember, lifting, so grounding, lifting, turning. Come down to your right angle. Form a square with your left knee. Right hand on the hip, left hand, right hand on the hip with the left arm stretch and stretch. Come down to your brick, open the chest. Bring the arm up, and then if you can, over the head. Create length from the back of the right foot up to the tips of the right fingers. Open the chest even more. Look up to the ceiling. Be light on your brick. And then inhale, press down the feet, come up, toes forward, and then heel and toe to come in. Take a breath. Second version of this pose is Parivrita, Utthita Parshvakonasana. So again, wide stride, and we're going to do the turn. So we need the bricks again. There are a couple of variations on this pose. So one thing I said I would prepare you for is if you don't have a wall behind you, but you want to use the back foot into the wall, so you would turn the toes in, the heels out, stretch forward as much as you can, and prepare for your Trikonasana or Parivrita Trikonasana here. So if you're doing Parivrita, the reverse, the hands are on the hips, the right arm comes up, reaches down to this side where your brick is going to be there, and you'll be opening the chest, bringing the arm up. So you'll find that anchoring the back foot in the wall helps to stabilize the pose tremendously and help you with your balance so that you can focus on the pose. Come out, turn the feet to the side, and come in. All right. You can do the same with the next pose. So if you don't have the wall space for a wide stride, put the left foot into the wall, the right foot forward. Stretch the arms out. Now this time we're doing Parivrita, Utthita Parshvakonasana. So turning to the right, we then turn the back foot in maximum so that we're bringing the left hip forward, right hip back. coming down to a right angle. Now you might really need to be on the ball of the back foot, because with the right hand on the hip, the left arm is going to stretch up and reach forward. Again, you're saving a drowning person, so you're reaching as far as you can. And now your choice is to rest the elbow on that knee, or if you can get the elbow beyond the knee, so the outside of the elbow is beyond the right knee, press the hand into the brick, and then you begin to turn towards the wall. And as you turn, you use that right hand in the wall to get more and more and more. Turn and lift. And the final part of the pose is to bring the arm up and over so it's close to your ear as you look up the wall behind you. And then to come out, bring the arm back, press down with the feet, come up and toes forward, step in. Take a breath. Second side. Again, so if you're doing the pose against the wall, you're going to have the left foot in towards the wall, the right foot out, and you're creating your right angle here. The benefit is you can put your heel up the wall, have the brick on this side, hand on the hip, stretch up, come down or lower, and then turn and turn and turn with the heel anchoring you in the wall. So you turn and turn and turn, and then bring the arm up or bring the arm over. So that's your option if you've got a narrower wall space. So going back to our second side, stretch the legs out, the arms out, and then we are turning. Hands on the hips, bringing your front knee to a square, stretch up the right arm, reach forward any distance. You want to be able to lie the torso across your extended thigh, and then either rest the hand on the rest the elbow on the thigh, or slice it down on the outside. So outside of your right arm, slice down on the left knee, and then hand into the brick. Then you begin to turn. So this is the work. Turn and turn and turn, using your hand in the wall. Keep moving the left hip crease back, extending the right leg, and then bring the arm up. And when you're ready, bring it over the head. And then to come out, take the arm back, strong in the legs, step up, and back to the center. Feet apart, we take resting Uttanasana after that. Bring the arms up, catch the elbows, and release forward. Completely release the neck, let the head reach down towards your mat. Equal weight on the heels and the toes. Change the grip on the elbows. And then with the hands on the thighs, slowly come up. Next we'll take Parigasana, which is an extended side angle, so you get a big stretch in the side body. This will help us with our twists as we take seated twists in a moment. The way to do this is to be on the left hand side of your mat, so I'm not in the center, I'm on the side, and I'm going to take the brick here underneath my foot. The classic pose is to have the foot flat on the ground like this, and if you can do that, that's great. Sometimes it gives people a cramp in the calf. So it can be useful to press the ball of the foot into the brick. Now you want to be lined up on the front end of your mat, otherwise the hips will be facing backwards or forwards. You want them to be open towards the front of your mat. This leg, my left knee and thigh remains vertical, and the shin is pressed into the mat behind me, pointing straight back. So with the left hand on the hip and the right palm facing up, I'm going to slide down the shin. And as I slide down the shin, I'm not allowing my shoulders to reach forward. I'm keeping the chest open. So I'm still lengthening in the front body, keeping the chest open as I slide further and further and further down that extended leg. And when I've gone as far as I can, still keeping my left shoulder back and my chest open, I'm going to bring the left arm up and over. And eventually, with a lot of practice, I'd be able to reach the arms together, reach the hands together, without collapsing the chest. So keeping the arm up is fine, keeping it over the head is fine. It's just not fine to roll the chest inwards. So keep that openness and the extension that you'll feel now between the hip and the shoulder in the left side of the body. And then take a breath in, slowly come up and change sides. If you need to kneel down for a moment to catch your breath in between times, that works as well. So I'm going to put my brick on the left side, come back to the right side and extend my left leg. So this right knee and thigh has to be vertical, remember, and I'm at the front of my mat. So with the right hand on the hip for the moment, chest lifted, open, grounded in the shin. I'm going to start sliding my left arm down my left shin, opening the chest more and more as I go. Notice any difference between one side and the other. Lengthening, lengthening. Can you reach the ankle? Can you reach the shin? Can you reach the knee? All of those places. Still rolling that right shoulder back. And then bring the arm up and over. Keep extending further and further without allowing the body to reach forward or lean forward. Go deeper with your exhalation. And then come up. Sit back on the heels in Vajrasana. So Vajrasana is knees together, ankles together. Sit there for a moment. Let everything settle. And then I'm going to move to the center of the mat and sit in Virasana. So Virasana might require a little bit of height. So you can fold a blanket and put it behind you so that if I'm demonstrating from the opposite side, I might need to have a little bit of height. So knees together, ankles out to the side, roll the calves out to the side, and then sit on a height. You may need this, you may need this, but the ankles and the heels remain outside of the hips. You want a little space in there to be able to roll the heels out to the side and sit tall. All right, so whilst you get settled in to Virasana, I'm going to roll the calves out to the side, sit on my own blanket, and then roll the heels out to the side. All 10 toes you want to have resting on the mat. So your toes don't curl in, they head straight back behind you, and all 10 toes should be touching the mat. So sit tall, rest the hands on the thighs, roll the shoulders back in Virasana. And then let's take Parvatasana. So clasp the hands, turn the hands away from you, slowly lift up.
done quite a lot of stretching in the side body now, so there should be a lot of lift in the chest, a lot of space in the side body. Then take a breath in and turn to your right. Again, the head is the last thing to turn. Keep lifting up and turning, lifting up and turning. Back to the center. Bring the arms down, change the crossing, come up, turn to your left. Bring the arms back towards the ears, turn to your left. Turn to your left. And back to the center and release. We're going to do some seated poses now, which involve twists. So if sitting tall with nothing under your hips is a challenge, so if you find that your back is bent and your arms won't raise very high, that means you need height. So bring a folded blanket or 2 folded blankets under your sitting bones. Then take the flesh away from the sitting bones so that you can sit tall, roll the thighs towards each other and walk the heels away from you. Press the fingertips into the mat beside you and lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back, broad across the collarbones. So sit there for a moment in Dandasana. So you're sitting tall, but you're not puffing the chest. You're taking the navel towards the back waist. You're pressing down the thighs. Can you get your back of your thighs onto the mat? Sometimes you can. If you're sitting on a blanket, you can't. We're going to take a twist in Dandasana. Pasva Dandasana. So take the left hand to the right knee or the right thigh and take the right hand behind you and then begin to turn. Remember, you're grounding through sitting bones, lifting up through the crown of the head and turning to your right. Turning to your right. Keep walking the heels away from you. Keep the balls of the feet parallel as you turn. Lift on the inhalation, turn on the exhalation. And then slowly release back to the center, both hands in front of you. So it can be work just to sit in Dandasana. Remember to find that place again. So rolling the shoulders back, lifting the sternum up, pressing down the back of the thighs. And then right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, lift and turn. Head is the last thing to turn. So inhale as you lift, exhale as you turn. And back to the center. Dandasana. Alright, we'll do a forward bend next. This one is Janu Shirsasana, head of the knee pose. So right hand in right knee crease. Bring that foot back. If it's not releasing down to the floor, perhaps it's up here, you can prop a brick or a folded blanket underneath. So bring it close into the groin, sole of the foot on the opposite thigh, and then sit tall. Face forward, sit tall. Lengthen through the extended left leg. Raise the arms up and exhale forward. If you need a strap to catch the foot, then grab your strap and extend forward. Bring the elbows out to the side so the chest is lifted, side chest lifted. We've done a lot of extending in that area. Reach forward, reach forward, reach forward, and bring the head down. So chin to shin, rather than forehead to shin. Releasing down, extending through the arms. And then take a breath in, come up,
The other side, left side, this may be different, so be prepared to have a different experience with your knee. Perhaps you need support under it, whereas the other one didn't need support, and vice versa. But just popping a blanket under the knee means that there's no strain in the groin. Hips facing forward. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward. Catch the strap if you need it around your foot or your hands. And then inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen as you reach forward. Reach forward. Elbows out to the side, lengthening through the side body all the way up to the elbows. Release the head down towards the knee, chin to shin. And then inhale, lift the chest, arms up, Dandasana. Okay, next twist, Marishyasana 3. Again, if you are finding it hard to sit tall, some height under the sitting bones will give you more lift. Marishyasana 3. Bring your hands under the right knee, bend the knee, bring the foot in close to the groin. Catch the knee and lift tall, extending the left leg. Now here we're going to take a twist. So raise the left arm, begin to turn towards your right before you do any bending of the elbow. So turn towards the right, then bend the elbow on the outside of the knee. And then with the other arm you can help to get even closer. So back of the armpit to the outside of the right knee. And then when you've turned, you may find your t-shirt's getting in the way, so grab that and turn it to the side, and then begin to turn the chest. So the chest is now at 90 degrees from the leg. So I'm turning and turning and turning, looking over the right shoulder. Release the elbow, release the knee, come back to the center. Refind your Dandasana. Both hands under the left knee, bring it up close into the groin. Hug your knee, lift tall. Raise the right arm, slice it down on the outside, and spend a moment getting as close as you can to the back of the armpit and the knee. And then lift tall, check your t-shirt, and turn to look over your left shoulder. Stamp that left foot into the mat, extend the right leg. All of these things help with the twist. So you're grounding through the sitting bones and the extended leg, you're lifting through the crown of the head and through the chest, and you're turning. And then come back to the center, back to Dandasana. One more seated twist. This one is called Bharadvajasana. So you might need a blanket for this one. I'm going to demonstrate it with a blanket. From Dandasana, swing your knees around to the right. And as you swing them around to the right, if you find that sitting up straight, sitting up tall is a challenge and you're tipping, then use a folded blanket under this side, under the left side. Okay, so that's what it's like. You can have it at an angle so that it's supporting the left buttock, and that's going to help you with your twist as you turn. So sitting tall, grounding through the sitting bones. I've got my right foot sitting in the arch of my left foot as my knees are bent and my knees are facing straight forward. Okay, so right knee sitting in left knee, and then I'm going to lift the chest and turn away from the feet. So the right hand can come onto the left thigh, the left hand can come either on the wall behind you, or you can turn and turn and turn and maybe catch your foot behind you, or just catch the mat. And then lift and turn, lift and turn. Inhale, exhale. Again, the top leg sits in the arch of the bottom leg, knees face directly forward, and you may be able to do this perfectly adequately without the blanket. It gives you a little boost to sit a little taller. So try it with, try it without, see what works best. This way my hips are more even, so maybe I need the blanket. Now turning away from the feet, begin to turn, begin to turn. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. You can bring it right around and catch the foot, or you can have it on a brick behind you as you turn. So lift the chest, look over the right shoulder, and then release the arms, stretch out the legs, and sit tall one more time in Dandasana. So we've included some standing twists, we've had some seated twists. Now we're going to take some supine twists. So first of all, we'll be lying on our back and swinging the legs side to side. So for that, I'm going to bring my mat a little bit further out from the wall so that I've got space to twist. You can lay your blanket down on your mat. And keep a brick handy, preferably a soft brick so that you don't have it land on you. We're going to use this as we twist. So with the knees bent, lie down. Always good to lie down with the knees bent. Settle your spine onto the mat. Take a breath. Then bend the knees, bring them up to the chest. Place the brick between the knees and the calves. Grip the brick firmly so that your knees are going to remain in line and your ankles are going to remain in line. And then stretch the arms out to the side. Take a breath in and slowly bring the knees to your right elbow, towards your right elbow. So keep them high. Grip the brick. Again, you're going to get an extension in the left side of the body. You may be able to bring your knees down, you may not. Maybe you'll be here. That's okay too. So press down the left shoulder, so you're pressing it into the mat, getting an openness in the chest that helps with your twist. And then we're going to turn to the other side, so take a breath in, lift the knees up. Find that central point on the sacrum. Take a breath and then exhale, gripping your brick firmly between the knees. Take it down to your left elbow. Keep them high. Keep the right shoulder down. You can look to the right to complete the twist of the spine. Breath in, up to the top, and we'll do it one more time. So settle the spine on the floor, keep the sacrum in, keep the sacrum in the center. Breath in, down to the right. Inhale, up to the center. And then down to the left. A breath in, you extend, exhale, and you twist. Inhale, come to the center. release the brick. Hug the knees. And try and get both arms completely over your shins. Grab the elbows and bring the shins down onto the chest, pressing into the abdomen. Release the shoulders down. Tip slightly to your right. So you're extending the left side, not very much, a couple of inches. Back to the center, tip slightly to your left. Back to the center. And then release the feet down to the mat and take a breath. The knees to the chest, roll onto your side to come up. And I'm going to do a simplified shoulder stand and halasana, which you can follow along with. If you prefer not to, or you have any issues with your neck, I'll give you an alternative. Which is to take your strap, knees bent, lay the strap around the ankles, lie down, rest the abdomen on the mat, lengthen the spine, and then bring the heels in closer to the buttocks, roll the shoulders under, take a breath in, and press down the feet as you lift the chest up. So this is Chaturpadasana. You can hold onto the straps, you can place your feet in your palms. There are different ways of doing this. You can grip the hands underneath the chest, but whichever you choose, you're lifting the chest, rolling the thighs in, taking the sacrum up and the shoulders under. So you can do that 3 times and then bring the knees to the chest and release the feet down. Meanwhile, the alternative is to take a couple of blankets. I've got 3, depends how many you have. 3 would be a good number, but 2 is fine as well. And I'm going to have my shoulders on the blanket, my head down here. I'm going to swing my legs over into plow, which is halasana, just for a short while. So this is not a new learning exercise. We're not learning to do Savangasana, shoulder stand. So my shoulders are on the height, my head is off the height, my neck is supported by the blankets, and then I'm going to swing the legs up and over. So you have to put a bit of effort into this, to swing the legs up and over and stretch them out behind you. Support the back. Make sure that your shoulders are fully on the mat. So you can have your hands moving down towards the shoulder blades. Stretch the legs out in halasana. Keep lifting up the sitting bones, lifting up the back of the thighs, walking the toes away from you. And then for the twist, we're going to walk towards the right, keeping the sitting bones lifted at the same time so we're not collapsing. Walking towards the right, lifting the side ribs, lifting the sitting bones, bringing the back of the thighs towards the ceiling, and then walking back to the center, reposition, and then to the left. Lift the chest, lift the sitting bones, back of the thighs, hold the back ribs firmly, and then back to the center. Hold onto the mat as you slowly release down, bend the knees, and then allow the head and shoulders to release down. Cross your legs or have the feet in Baddha Konasana. Those are two options as you release the arms to the sides. Now this is the last pose of the class, so for those of you that find this suitable for Shavasana, make sure you're warm enough and then release yourself into Shavasana. You can stretch out the legs or you can keep the legs crossed. Just make sure that the hips are raised, the shoulders are down, arms are stretched out. I'm also going to show classic Shavasana, so rolling to the side. I'm going to keep one blanket for my head. I'm going to have a bolster under my knees. And if you have an extra blanket and you're a little chilly, you can put that over the body. So roll the shoulders under, lengthen the spine so that the tailbone moves down to the heels. Palms facing up, back of the neck is long, soften the throat, and then close your eyes. Let your thoughts float in and out like clouds across the sky. Don't hold on to them, just let them go. And take your focus back to your breath. If you have time to stay longer in Shavasana, then please do. Otherwise, take in a deeper breath. Bend your elbows, bend your knees. Roll onto your right side. Press your hands into the mat as you sit up. Bring the palms together. Namaste. Look forward to seeing you next time.